let you know as soon as I hear anything. Be with you in a minute. Right. How can I help you?
Detective Chief Superintendent Petch, DCI Bourne, DI Graveney, DS McCourt, Serious Crime Squad.
I see. Good morning, sir.
As of 0900, we are requisitioning your incident room, effective until further notice. If you'll let us through.
Yes, of course. If you'd like to wait, I'll just clear it with the duty officer.
You will speak to no one.
I'm sorry, sir, but duty
You will
officer...
inform no one of our arrival, all right? Now stop wasting my time and open up. Is that not clear enough for you, Sergeant?
Yes, sir. Right away.
Incident room.
Reg, front office, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just going to the...
Now, Hollis. It's
front
this way.
office, yeah. John.
Later, Alec. This is the incident room, sir.
This will be fine. Now, Sergeant.
Maitland, sir.
Right, Sergeant Maitland, would you show DS McCourt to the LIO's office and DCI Bourne and DI Graveney to the Criminal Investigation Department?
May I ask what this is all about, sir?
You may not, Sergeant. Sufficient to say that any request made by me or my fellow officers will be carried out to the letter and with the utmost dispatch. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Sergeant? Inspector Monroe, duty officer, can I help you?
DCS Petch, Serious Crime Squad. Nothing for you to concern yourself with, Inspector. If you'd like to go about your normal duties. Will you close the door after yourself? Duty state? How far back do these go?
Last 6 months.
Right.
Oi! What do you think you're doing? That's my desk.
You're Roach, are you?
I'm Detective Sergeant Roach. Who the hell are you?
Ted. DCI Bourne, Serious Crime Squad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Alistair, what's going on here?
I don't know, mate.
Right, mate. We'll see about this. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know anything about this?
Ted, let me get in first.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It won't wait. There's a couple of goons from SCS turning our office over.
SCS?
Yeah.
Excuse me, what's going on here?
Who are you?
DCI Reed.
DCI Bourne, DI Graveney, Serious Crime
I know
Squad.
where you're from.
Nothing to be alarmed about. This is purely procedural.
Procedural?
That is correct.
Your governor, who's the IO on this?
Nobody is to touch this, right? If I could see your office now, please.
My office? I asked you a question.
And I decline to answer. Your office, ma'am. If you please.
Could you take that, Derek? If you'd just take my coat as well up to the office, I'll sort this out.
Get the rest, and we should be ready to roll.
Chief Superintendent Brownlow.
DCS Patch. Eric. It's Charles, I believe, yes?
It is. How do you do?
Very well. I'd like to thank you in advance for the use of your facilities.
Usually polite to ask first, I found.
Yes, well, the nature of our business here precludes any such niceties, I'm afraid.
I was expecting you rather sooner.
Were you? Were you?
You are investigating the murder of Lenny Powell. That is why you're here.
Doubtless you appreciate the difficulties of such an investigation, Charles. Not every day you have an informant shot while under police protection.
No.
You're aware that the CPS have had to drop the case against Whelan and the rest of Powell's former associates?
I heard it was a possibility. Unconfirmed.
Not a result we want splashed across the headlines, really, is it? Supergrass killed in care of Sunhill CID.
So Whelan's off the hook.
His liberty has been restored, oh yes.
I see.
I'm looking at the facts, Charles. Powell was relocated from across the river to your ground. Somehow, and bear in mind it had taken Whelan's firm 3 months to find the original location, within 24 hours of placing Powell in a safe house under Sun Hill supervision, he's shot dead as he leaves for court. Doesn't inspire confidence, does it?
Am I to understand that you suspect that somebody from Sun Hill tipped off Whelan's gunman?
You must draw your own conclusions. I have nothing further to add to my last statement at this time.
Burnside wants Sam for this.
Well, if Reed can't sort it out, I can't see him doing any better.
You got everything you need?
Yes, thanks.
Git.
Oh, come on, Ted. You're not doing anybody any favours, you know.
It's out of order, Tosh.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Mum?
Give me a minute, Ted.
Yeah, sure, Mum. Do you know what this is all about yet?
Not for definite.
But you've got an idea. Mum?
Later. Sir.
Yes, Kim.
May I speak with you?
Yes, of course.
Typical mushroom syndrome, kept in the dark and fed on moons.
It's a cowl, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
They've taken their time, haven't they, sir?
Well, I understand their attention's been centered on the original safe house, the other side of the river.
Well, I have to say their attitude leaves a lot to be desired. They've already put the noses of several of my officers well out of joint.
Well, they're not in the job to make friends, Kim.
Don't patronise me, Derek. The order of the day is to discover who murdered Lenny Powell, isn't it, sir?
Yes, of course.
Then why does it already feel so much like a witch hunt?
It's nothing of the sort, Kim.
No?
It's inevitable in this type of operation that toes will be trodden on. I would have thought the squad could expect you, above all, to assist them in every way possible.
Oh, they can, sir. They can. So long as it doesn't involve slipping a rope around my own neck and kicking the chair away.
About time and all. Bit of a slap for the brains, long overdue.
Yeah, don't strain yourself, will you? So what do you reckon then, eh? Fiddling expenses or what?
4 of them. Leave it out. Must be something big.
What then?
Who knows? Look like themselves upstairs, ain't they?
Well, they think they are.
Yeah, but they're not missing, you know, the suits. They put the wind up, make them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, wait, this is one.
All right, mate. You lost something?
I'm looking for 595 Stamp.
Sure. Because that's me, I'm Stamp. Tony Stamp.
Right. Present yourself at the incident room in 5 minutes. Don't be late, will you, mate?
You're right, Tony. It's a flaming liberty, that's what it is. They can't mess us around like this. I've got people to see.
That's right, Mum. Can't somebody have a word?
If that's what they want, then that's what we will do.
Nice of handing in a batch of jobs as long as you're on,
Yes,
Mum.
I know, and as soon as you've been seen, you're clear to take whatever's outstanding.
Yes, but that's...
No buts, Ted. That's it. I'm sorry.
It's a complete joke, Mum.
It's no joke, and the sooner you realise that, the better, all right?
Hang on a second.
I don't suppose you've given any thought to the possibility that this whole department could be in very serious trouble.
No, you hang on.
No, you hang on, Ted. If they get the faintest whiff of any naughtiness, and I don't care what kind, then by the time this investigation's over, there may well be more than a few empty seats in this office. Is that understood?
You didn't know who your passenger was?
No, sir. I was just detailed to drive the motor.
Which was?
Black cab, sir.
Didn't strike you as odd in any way?
Just following instructions, sir.
You didn't even wonder?
I find it best not to, sir. If information is withheld, it's usually for a good reason.
So let me recap. As far as you were aware, you were just taking a prisoner from one location to another.
That's correct, sir.
You followed?
I thought at one point that was the case, sir, but no. I don't believe we were followed to the safe house.
You knew it was a safe house?
It had been used as such on previous occasions. There was nothing to lead me to believe that this was anything different.
So, at what point did you become aware of the prisoner's identity?
And not until after he'd been shot, sir.
You were involved, Joel, in the first attempt on Powell.
I was called upon to act in my capacity as AFO, yes, sir.
And you didn't know the identity of the man you were protecting?
No, sir.
No idea?
No, sir.
It started then.
Yes.
Stamp's in seeing them now. I thought as you were next, we would have a little chat. Make sure we're giving the same story.
Story? I'm just answering questions.
Yeah, of course. How long have you been at Sun Hill now? 4 months?
About that.
Good department you got here. Loyal. Someone's in trouble, we don't leave them out on a wire.
We're all in the same boat, Frank. I hadn't been here a week, don't forget, when Daxo dropped Powell in my lap.
Sure. And you can count on me to tell him that. I mean, given the circumstances, you made the best of a bad job.
I'd be more concerned how things looked from your end if I were you.
So, how do things look? From my end.
They're going to want to know why you stood down the extra cover.
2 armed villains sledgehammer the door at dawn. We get the drop on them. All over. I thought it was sorted, didn't I? I mean, how was I to know it was only a blind to the real attempt?
You should have checked with me first.
I tried. Was engaged.
Come on, Frank. I was expecting your call. Nobody else rang, and I didn't leave it off the hook.
I must have dialed the wrong number.
Not me you've got to convince, is it?
You could tell him that I got a hold of you, and we agreed the decision to stand down the AFOs and the extra bodies together.
You can't pull strokes like that with SCS, Frank. You know that. They're not your usual rubber heels.
You leaving me to carry the can? Cheers.
You made a decision. It's possible I'd have done the same thing. It's just unfortunate it gave an end to Whelan's hitman.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to see it as just unfortunate.
I don't see how it could be anything else.
Look, I've seen it before. It doesn't have to be concrete, just enough to cast a doubt. Suspension pending inquiry. And even if you come through the other side, you've still done your legs. It's just that... Well, I thought if we all pulled together, we could see this one through.
Reed? Right, I'm on my way down.
Are you now? Or have you ever been?
Like the good book says, Frank, tell the truth and shame the devil. I was notified that we would be assuming responsibility for Powell by the Deputy Assistant Commissioner for Special Operations.
How did you receive this information?
By telephone. I was called at home on the evening of the 26th at about 9 o'clock.
The importance of this prisoner was made clear to you.
Only insofar as he'd been assigned an alias, Edward Price, and that his safety was the prime concern. I was given to understand that his present security had been breached, hence the swift decant to Sun Hill.
How did you feel about that?
Concerned. It left me with less than 11 hours to organise things my end before we were due to collect Powell. I knew it would be tight.
Could you outline the steps you took?
I thought we'd put all that behind us, sir. The years of anarchy, the firm within the firm.
I still don't believe it's hardcore corruption or anything like the scale of 15 years ago.
It's possible that some slipped through the net, though, sir.
No, I don't think so. Mistakes may have been made, but nothing sinister should be inferred from that.
To err is human.
Exactly. However, inquiries of this sort can do long-term damage. I mean, Kim's going to have immense problems on her hands. Morale will be non-existent.
That is presuming that she stays, sir. I mean, a blot this size on a copybook, she might well be moved elsewhere. Well, you've only got to look at Gordon Ray. The whole department could be scattered to the four winds. Divide and rule.
Do you live alone, Miss Reed?
Yes?
You're not involved in any particular relationship of any long standing?
No. And so your next question as to whether I mentioned the details of this op to anyone outside the offices in this station is null and void.
You understand we have to ask?
I would have been surprised if you hadn't.
How do you think they found him, Miss Reed?
I don't know, sir.
You have no opinion?
My opinion, Chief Inspector, is neither here nor there.
Well, surely you must have formed
Look,
some...
I'm more than willing to assist with this inquiry in any way I can. But I won't indulge in wild surmise when there's so much at stake. With the greatest respect, you must find your own answers.
Then perhaps you can give us your impression, as his senior officer, of Mr. Burnside.
Well, I'm not losing any sleep over it. Storm in a teacup.
You reckon?
Won't blow over soon enough. Providing Reed doesn't stick the knife in. And you and me give a good account of ourselves.
You and me? What do you mean?
Well, we stood the troops down, didn't we?
Oh, you gave the word.
I know, as I remember it, Ted. You asked me if you could stand them down, and I agreed.
Oh, hang on a minute. That's not how I remember it at all.
Oh, I do. Like it was yesterday.
Oh, no.
A trouble shared is a trouble half, Ted.
You're not serious.
There's no one in this department doesn't owe me. Time to call in a few favours, that's all.
You can't do that. If I agree to this, that's it for me. I'll have done my legs once and for all.
You've done your legs long ago, Ted.
You bastard.
Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones. You should be pleased.
Pleased?
Well, if I'd done as you suggested in the first place and stood them down even before the first attempt, we'd all be in the clarts. I'm just trying to create a bit of confusion, cloud the issue. It's not just myself I'm thinking of.
That's not how it looks from where I'm standing.
Damage limitation, Ted. I'm trying to get us all off the hook.
Dislike him?
You had dealings with him before you were assigned to watch him at the safe house.
I nicked him about 15 years ago. We didn't know each other socially, if that's what you mean.
So how did you feel about his murder?
He was shot right in front of me, sir. I suppose shock first and foremost. It's not an experience I'd like to repeat in a hurry. It's funny, really, but as he was lying there, all I could think was that we'd failed. And what he would mean for us.
In what way?
All of this, sir. I knew from the off that it was possible that somebody could put 2 and 2 together and come up with 5.
The 2 men who made the dawn attack, you knew they were armed?
Well, we didn't think they'd be coming after Paul with pea shooters, sir.
So as far as you were concerned, this was a real attempt?
Absolutely, sir.
You moved when they arrived?
Yes, sir. As soon as I went through the door, the AFOs went first and disarmed them. A sawn-off and a handgun were recovered.
Did they offer any kind of resistance?
Not really. They surrendered as soon as we'd given warning shouts. They had no choice. We had them with their backs towards us on the stairs.
Then what happened?
Well, they were cuffed and placed in separate vehicles for transit back to the station.
Were any extra officers left to keep watch after your departure?
Much to my regret, sir, they were not.
They were stood down?
Yes.
AFOs and unarmed officers?
That's correct.
By who?
Sorry, sir?
Who gave the order to stand down?
Inspector Burnside, sir.
And you didn't question his judgment?
I assumed the order came from DCI Reed.
And did you agree with that decision?
Well?
It never came up.
You expect me to believe that? What did you tell them?
Nothing they didn't know already.
I thought we had an understanding.
I'm not lying for you.
Oh, I see. So they said, who was it? And you said, Burnside. Listen, Ted, if I go down, I'm not going down on my own. You're on my list.
Look, this is ridiculous. What are you getting so worked up about? God almighty, it was just an error of judgment. We've all made cock-ups in our time.
This is murder, Ted. They're looking for a whipping boy, and I'm favourite.
You want to get a grip on yourself. If you've done nothing wrong, then you've got nothing to worry about. Or are they getting a bit too close for comfort? Is that it, eh? Whelan got you in his back pocket?
Now don't push your luck, Ted.
Don't you threaten me.
And what you gonna do about it? Run and tell Reed? That's about your mark, innit? You done me up like a kipper, the pair of you.
Well, maybe she can't stand bent coppers either.
You slag!
Come on, guys! Come on! Leave it out! Leave it out!
Finished, you are.
You tirade!
Stop it!
What the hell are you playing at? What's going on?
We had a disagreement.
Ted, have you been seen?
Yeah.
Right, out of this office. You've got work to do. I'll see you later. Now, Ted. Well.
Well, what? We're all a bit on edge today, that's all.
Right, in my office this minute. You two, tidy up all this mess.
Go. They're ready for you now.
Saved by the bell.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
Best till last, eh?
You know why we're here?
Claimed too much of my petrol, have I?
You would be advised to treat this inquiry with the level of seriousness that it merits, Mr. Burnside.
Doesn't make very good reading, does it?
I wouldn't know. Don't have much time for reading. Too busy trying to catch villains, usually. Know what I mean?
Are you deliberately trying to make things worse for yourself?
Worse than what? You've already made up your mind. I've been in this job long enough to know how it works. You're just going through the motions.
I'm keeping an open mind at this stage. But you have to admit, you made some elementary mistakes during this affair. Your actions, insofar as I can make out, led indirectly to Powell's death.
I resent that implication.
You're in no position to resent anything, Mr. Burnside. You were caught with your knickers down.
Yeah, well, maybe I should have been caught with my trouser leg rolled up.
What do you mean by that?
I'm not being idle. Whelan was a country member. Work it out for yourselves. None of us lot knew Powell's original location over the river. Whoever put Whelan wise had access to that information.
Rest assured, all avenues of inquiry are being pursued.
As long as they don't lead to your own backyard, eh?
That is a serious allegation, and one which I hope you wouldn't make without the necessary evidence to back it up.
You won't find any evidence. Whoever's responsible will have covered their tracks.
Well, in that case, let's restrict ourselves to the facts and the matter in hand. Why did you stand down the extra cover, Mr. Burnside?
In my opinion, it was in the bag. We had successfully foiled the murder attempt.
Shouldn't you have cleared it with DCI Reed? Wouldn't that have been the appropriate course of action?
I was satisfied. No one could have foreseen what was to follow. It's easy in hindsight to say you should have done this, should have done that. I was the one who was there. I followed my instincts.
And so your complacency, not to say arrogance, left Powell's security fatally flawed.
I did what I thought was best.
The force is changing, Mr. Burnside. Thankfully. No longer enough just to rely on gut reaction. The attitude that you've displayed today is sadly outmoded. You're as much of an anachronism as Powell ever was. Unless you're prepared to take a long, hard look at yourself, I feel you should really be considering your future in the job, don't you?
You want me out, sir? You're gonna need more than words. A damn sight more, I'm telling you.